The Walking Dead returned last night for its last ever season premiere for season 11. And this is my spoiler review discussion about that very episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very tense, very dark, and the cliffhanger was amazing. But just something to note. I've decided not to review the episodes until the Sunday or the Monday because it's not fair to some fans, because in America on AMC Plus the episodes are airing 1 week early. 1 week early. So that means the internet is full of spoilers and screenshots of the episode before fans actually get to see it on the Sunday. And to make things worse, on Saturday night on AMC Plus, episode 2 aired. So that means that 2 episodes were out there on the internet before episode 1 officially internationally premiered for the Walking Dead fanbase, which was annoying. And also, episode 3 had a trailer before this episode aired. I think they have to change that. It's not fair to the hardcore fanbase whatsoever. But let's get into this review. So, really love this. Okay, so the opening sequence, the group has to go into this military base looking for food. They're very low on food, looking for some weapons, supplies, and they find this military base where all these walkers are on the ground asleep. They're dormant walkers, because they haven't had much to do for God knows how long. And in this military base, it's not like you're just walking through a door. The only way into it is from the roof. So the group has to, rope down the female members of the group because they're lighter. The guys will be too heavy for the females to hold. But Angela Kang, the showrunner for The Walking Dead, says that the walkers in the military base are lurkers. These are a type of walker that have gone dormant due to a lack of stimulation and or food. We don't see many of them in the Walking Dead universe, but this particular area was left untouched for a long time. So that's cool. I really liked it. The group had to tiptoe around these walkers because if they make any noise whatsoever, they'll wake up and the group is in big trouble. So this was definitely a girl power moment for Maggie, for Carol, for Rosita, because they were eased down into this military base because they're lighter than the guys, so they had to go in and look for the supplies and look for the food. But of course, things don't always go that well. Daryl, while he's trying to pull the girls up, he cuts his arm, a bit of blood drops down on top of a walker, and then the walkers all awake. And eventually, all that we've left down in the military base is Carol. Rosita had some cool moments, really liked her. Maggie as well, all badass, that they have to shoot some of the walkers, but Carol is the last one standing. Then she sees some food, she tries to make a jump to get some, much needed food, because as we learn later in the episode, Alexandria is in a bad state after the Whisperer War. They're low on food big time, so Carol has to jump and get some food as much as she can. But I love this opening shot right here of Daryl Dixon. I think it was Judith that did this to Daryl's waistcoat jacket thing. The wings, one of them is more highlighted than the other. Pretty cool shot, him looking over this military base or this area. So, look, Daryl is the main character mostly for The Walking Dead. He's taken over after Rick Grimes left. But I would argue that maybe Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the star of The Walking Dead because I think he's very charismatic. I just think his screen presence is brilliant. His one-liners, just how he makes the other members of The Walking Dead cast tick, get really annoyed at him was brilliant. But yeah, Carol, of course, she's able to escape. Of course. And Daryl had some cool moments there as well. He's throwing some knives down at the walkers. Carol has to use, I think, Daryl's knives as well. So, look, awesome opening sequence. It was 8 or 9 minutes, and then we get the opening credits. A new opening credits. I think the Walking Dead logo this time around there's blood coming out of it, which is pretty interesting. There's some other tweaks as well in the opening credits, which was pretty cool. But I have to say, this is probably one of the best opening sequences for a Walking Dead episode in a long time. Really was. Really enjoyed it, and top notch to the team behind it. And then we cut over to Alexandria, where the group is having a meeting, and we find out that Alexandria only has a week's supply of food left. And this is a big change from when we first got to see this community in season 5. They were thriving. They had crops, they had running water, electricity, big houses, and now they're in absolute ruins, and the entire community is hungry, and this group now has to find out what to do. Maggie talks about a place that she lived in when she left the main Walking Dead show with her group, but the Reapers overran them, took over their area, killed them, and ran them out. So Maggie's idea is to go back to that place because there is supplies, there is food at that location, but it's risky because the Reapers are probably on their way there as well, and Rosita and Aaron thinks it's a bad idea. Back at the Commonwealth with Ezekiel, with Princess, with Yumiko, and with Eugene, they're being interrogated. We have a man and a woman interrogating them, asking a lot of questions, and some stupid questions. I think one of the questions was, how do you wipe, in terms of going to the toilet? Pretty weird stuff. And then this one here, what was your zip code? Like, why did you need to know that? And Yumiko is like, how can anyone possibly be expected to remember that? So I thought there was some funny scenes at the Commonwealth, you know, especially Eugene. He even referenced Michonne, which was awesome to see. I don't know if we're going to get too many mentions of Michonne or Rick throughout this season. Maybe they'll pop up at the ending of it. I'm not too sure, but it's still cool to get references. And even Negan, which I'll talk about, talked about Glenn in a brutal fashion as well. But Eugene, of course, knows exactly what his zip code is. He goes from 1978 to 1984. It was 75001. Eugene's a brainiac, and he remembers his zip code. Fair play to him, you know. But I thought it was cool. I think they were interrogated for 7 hours. Pretty insane. So this is like the introduction to the community from the Commonwealth. You know, they put people through these tests, through these questions to see if they're good enough to join the Commonwealth. Now, I'm not a comic book reader of The Walking Dead. I just know things here and there. But the Commonwealth is a big community where you have jobs. If you're a lawyer, you're going to be a lawyer. If in the past world you were a cop, you'll probably be a cop in this one. So it's interesting to see how they run their community. I don't know if it's going to be as big as it was in the comic books, because in the comic books it was pretty big, so they might not have the budget to do that at that scale for the show. But it's going to be interesting when we see the group go into the Commonwealth and to see if they can actually live in that environment. I think Yumiko is getting Michonne's storyline from the comic book, where she looks at the wall of missing people and she sees her brother. So she'll probably want to stay there, because at the end they're trying to escape from the Commonwealth, but then, you know, she sees that picture or her brother and she knows that she has to stay. I really like this scene between Ezekiel and Mercer. Mercer's a very cool character. I like the demeanor, I like the screen presence of the actor, and Ezekiel's like, are you in charge? You act like you're in charge. You look like you're in charge. And Mercer goes, I am. So Mercer's there in the interrogation room for the 7 hours with all 4 of our survivors. He doesn't say anything. He just watches. So that's very interesting. I like Mercer. You know, I just think he's pretty badass. He's pretty cool. Is he going to be a foe? Will he be friends with them? I'm not too sure, but he's got a nice style about him, so I can't wait to learn more about him big time. But the Commonwealth is very interesting. We've got the Stormtrooper type soldiers. We've got Mercer in his red outfit. I am intrigued to learn more about the Commonwealth. It's not overly interesting because we've seen communities before, but I can't wait until we actually go into the Commonwealth. And Ezekiel, you know, because Ezekiel's been sick for a very long time in the show. I don't know if it's actually cancer or what is it, but I like Ezekiel. I'm glad that he has survived this long. But we cut back to our main group of survivors of Daryl, of Gabriel, of Maggie, of Negan, who, because of a massive storm, they have to go through a subway line to get to the city. And the reason that they were bringing Negan is that Negan knows the way to the city, so he can be an ally in that way. I thought the production value to pull off the storm with the rain was pretty cool. We don't get to see that too many times in the Walking Dead universe, where there's just heavy, heavy rain. So the group go under the subway to try and get to the city, but it's very dark. It's very, very unsafe. And Negan calls them out a few times. He's like, look, I know I'm not in charge, but this isn't safe. What if these Reaper people are down here? What if there's walkers? Like, this isn't safe. We should go back and make a camp out in the storm, or just go a different way, because this is completely unsafe. But you have Daryl saying, oh, you run stuff now? You run shit now? Shut up, you know? So Negan's being put into his place, and Negan is being treated like shit. He really, really is. Even though in the last few seasons Negan has done pretty well to redeem himself. He's the reason that they beat the Whisperers. He saved Judith before as well. So to see him get this abuse from is hard to watch at times, because Negan is just trying to help them. He's trying to be a friend. Well, not really a friend, but he's trying to survive with them. Negan is a survivor, and they just will not listen to him, even though he's probably right. And he says that this area floods with storms, with the rain, so it's not safe. But then there's a nice, cool interaction between Negan and Maggie. Negan calls out Maggie. He's like, I live rent-free in your head. You brought me here because you think that you can kill me. I can die. Because, to be honest, Maggie is a leader for Alexandria, for the hilltop. And it would not be a good look if she assassinated Negan in front of everybody. So I think she brought him on this mission in hope that she would get her chance to kill him, or he would die by a walker, or the Reapers would kill him. Because remember, Negan killed her husband, the father of her child. And Negan is very much a part of the community now because he has redeemed himself, and Maggie has come back to see him out of his jail cell, somewhat thriving with the people in the community of Alexandria. But of course, there's other people who just absolutely hate him. And Maggie's like, you're right, Negan, I want you dead, but don't push me or I will do it. So I love this scene. I thought it was cool. She takes out her gun. He even talked about Glenn as well. You're gonna put me down like a dog, like Glenn, and then Daryl steps in, punches him. That was a brutal piece of dialogue from Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Negan. He talked about Glenn to his wife, who he killed Glenn in front of. So that was brutal. A great scene between the three of them, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Norman Reedus, and Lauren Cohen. So that was awesome. It was tense. It really, really was. And there's even a few of the people in the group who were agreeing with Negan, saying, he's right. He may be a dickhead, he may be an asshole, but he's right. This is unsafe. I think two of the characters that agreed with him end up running away or something like that. But also, something very, very creepy about the subway is that there's walkers in bags with their throats slit so they can't make noise. The walkers are alive, but they can't make sounds because their throats are cut. Somebody did that. I'm guessing it's the Reapers, and there had to have been 100 walkers in bags. That's a lot of work from the Reapers. The Reapers seem absolutely terrifying. And then, of course, there's more walkers who are walking around the subway line as well. Noise happens, and they end up coming across the survivors. So it's weird, it's interesting, and then the walkers come, and the only way for the survivors, for the group to get out of in danger is to get on top of a subway, but it's kind of broken, or there's kind of debris at the bottom, so they have to climb on top of it, and one by one they get on top. Daryl gets preoccupied because he has to go after Dog, who goes underneath the subway, so Daryl's off on his own little mission now. And the last to get over the subway train is Maggie, and she is terrified because there's walkers coming towards her. And then Negan looks over the edge of the subway, and Maggie's there, and all he has to do is pull her up, save her. He just pull her up, grab her arm and pull her up. But he decides not to. He just looks at Maggie, and Maggie's like, Negan, help me. And Negan just leaves. So I thought that was a great cliffhanger. It was just so tense. I was not expecting it whatsoever. Really well done, and I can't wait to see what happens in episode 2. But Negan's pissed off because he called out Maggie for her shit. Maggie is putting the rest of the group in danger because he lives rent-free in her head. And the rest of the group probably are thinking to themselves, he's right, but none of them said it out loud. And Negan thinks the best way to survive, because he's a survivor, is to get rid of Maggie. So guys, I thought this was a badass opening to season 11 for The Walking Dead. This was part 1 of this episode, so episode 2 is part 2 of the storyline. Look, Maggie's going to survive, she won't die, but it's going to be interesting to see how she reacts to Negan when they come face to face again. I think the trailer for episode 2, you had Gabriel and the rest of the group asking, where's Maggie? She was just behind us. And Negan's like, I don't know. But Negan knows. He could have saved her. But, was Negan right? I kind of agree with Negan in a sense, because, look, Maggie was putting the rest of the group in danger. He said, look, this isn't safe. Let's get out of here. But they would not listen to him because he's Negan, because he was this bad villain a few seasons ago when he killed Glenn and Abraham, and Sasha died as well. So, it's very interesting to see how the group still looks at him. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Negan is thinking to himself, I've redeemed myself, I've saved the children, I've beat the Whispers, and these people still treat me like this? Now, I'm not taking this shit anymore. And it's kind of a segue from Negan's arc over the last few seasons. He's been goody two-shoes, he's been trying to help people, but now he's a little bit pissed off because he's been helping Alexandria for so long and he gets no thanks for it whatsoever. He's a survivor and he is not getting the thanks he deserves. He should be one of the group, he should be one of the survivors, but he's looked down on like a dog, like Glenn was killed. That was a brutal line from Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So I can understand where Negan is coming from, and Maggie is putting the group in danger. It's not good whatsoever, but I'm interested to see where it goes for episode 2. Guys, what was your thoughts on the premiere for The Walking Dead season 11, episode 1? And guys, if you want to keep up to date with all of the Walking Dead universe reviews and news, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I will be breaking down and reviewing every single episode for The Walking Dead, for Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead World Beyond, plus theories. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Movies That Matter. Come follow me, and if you're a watcher of the channel, let me know in DMs or private message and I will follow you back. Walking Dead family, we're on this journey together. Season 11 is the last season. I cannot believe it. It's amazing to have The Walking Dead back so we can break it down, we can review, we can discuss it together for the next year and a half, nearly year. This season is ending in 1 year from now, so it's going to be pretty heartbreaking and sad when it does end, but we've got loads of stuff to talk about until then. Guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to talk about episode 2 with you guys. Guys, give a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to the channel. Get in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on The Walking Dead season 11 premiere.